Hello everyone, welcome back. We're going to be changing some fuel hoses in the fuel filter in this video. I was getting ready for a Cars and Coffee meet, and while I was topping off my power steering fluid, I started smelling some gas coming out of the engine bay here. So I started looking around and noticed a hose that was spraying. So let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. You can see the fuel hose here. There's a feed and a return line, and I believe it's this one, the one that's actually spraying. So before we change the fuel hoses and start, removing the fuel filter and all, we need to relieve some pressure from the lines so that we don't start spraying gas all over. And for that, the trick should be to start the car and then go ahead and remove the fuse for the fuel pump, which seems to be number 11 right here. And that way, the fuel pump will stop sending gas over to the engine, and as the engine runs out of gas, it'll stall out, shut off, and hopefully relieve that pressure. So let's go ahead and give that a try. Hopefully you can see the spray right there pretty heavily right now. So let's go ahead and remove this fuel. And that's exactly what we expected. So we'll start by removing this hose here first, which I believe is the one spraying. And there's no gas, so I'm glad we actually relieved some of the pressure here. Now if we get underneath the car, the other end of the lines is right there. This one right here is the first one. So I was able to pull the line after loosening the hose clamp from underneath the car, and here's what we need to replace, or one of the lines that we need to replace. And that completes the installation of both the feed and return fuel hoses in the engine bay. We can now move to the fuel filter, which is located just in front of the driver's rear tire. All right, everything looks good. It's tight. That's the new fuel filter. There's one more line I want to replace while I'm here, because I noticed it was almost broken. And it's the vacuum line here that goes from the pressure regulator onto the manifold. Let me show you why I'm changing it. So you can see here it's almost broken, so I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that. So now we just need to put this fuse back in. So let's try and start the car. I think we're gonna have to give it a couple of tries while we get gas in the tank. It's going. All right, there you go. Let's make sure we have no leaks. Leaks. Looking good so far inside the engine bay. Let's go check out the fuel filter. I think we're good here too. Let's do a quick test drive. So the car drives awesome. For some reason, every time I do something to the car, it feels like it drives better. I don't know if it's just a placebo effect, the vacuum hose, perhaps the new fuel filter getting better fuel to the engine. For whatever reason, it just feels a lot better. I also feel very lucky that I found this by looking around the engine bay in my driveway instead of somewhere stuck in traffic on the interstate on a 90-degree day where I could have ended up like this guy. So just make sure you inspect and look for things like this when dealing with old cars, 30-year-old cars. These are rubber hoses that take a beating anytime you're driving around in high temperatures, high pressures, and it is a maintenance item. So we have to, be on top of that to avoid any serious issues. So once again, thanks for watching this video. Leave your comments below and consider subscribing if you want to follow along. I'll see you on the next one.